Welcome everyone to our ELMS tutorial for mobility mentoring. My name is Carrie Beamer and I'm a training and innovation specialist here at ECAP. I'm also the state lead on mobility mentoring, and I'm happy today to be joined with Joyce Kilmer, who is going to walk us through this tutorial on ELMS for mobility mentoring.
Thanks, Carrie. The first thing you need to use ELMS for mobility mentoring is a login for ELMS. So you will need either a family support staff login if you work directly with families, or a family support manager login if you're the mobility mentoring lead for your ECAP contractor. And if you don't already have that login, you can contact your ELMS administrator with your ECAP contractor organization. For those of you who participated in the family support pilot, we are going to be removing those SS pilot roles from ELMS in July of 2018 because we're no longer a pilot. So now those same tasks for mobility mentoring are available to all family support staff. There's a few other staff roles in ELMS who can see the mobility mentoring reports. Your ECAP director can see them, and your site and subcontractor contact manager roles can also see the reports parts of it. So now the screen you're seeing, I'm in here as a family support staff person. I'm in a training version of ELMS, and all the child data that you see here is pretend. So there's no confidentiality issues with what you're seeing today. If I'm the family support staff, I have children who were assigned to me at the time they were put into a class in ELMS, and I can see those children by clicking on the search button on the ELMS Child tab. And here I have several children assigned to me. To get into the place where you enter mobility mentoring data, a child has to be in this enrolled in class status. So I've got a child named First Child who is enrolled in class, and I click over here on the right, their child family updates. Once I'm there, I want to go all the way across those tabs to the right and click on mobility mentoring. And this is the screen that you'll use for most of your data entry for the mobility mentoring program. I want to quickly review the instructions here at the top of the page. The first one says complete the pre-assessment at the first family support visit. For families that start ECAP by November 1st, complete the pre-assessment and write up one or more goals for the family by November 30th. And that means to have the goals into ELMS by that point. In the middle of the year, you're going to update the family's progress on their goals and have that into ELMS by March 31st. And then by the end of the school year, you're completing the post-assessment and editing the goals once more by June 30th for all families. So let's walk through how you do those steps here. So here I have a child who has just one household, a dad and a mom in that household, and I'm going to click on the blue link for Add Pre-Assessment. This opens up a form that you probably saw when you were doing your mobility mentoring training with Carrie here. So I'm going to start, I'm going to show you at the top, there's a couple links to documents that you probably also have seen before. So there's a link directly to the document for opening up conversations with families and a link to the bridge document. So I'm going to put in the parents' names here so that we've got mom, and I'm going to select an education level for her, and dad, and select an education level for him. I'm assuming that this time they were both at this the family support visit, so I'm putting both names in here. And I'm entering the date of the initial pre-assessment. And Carrie's going to tell us a little bit about dates while I'm doing this.
So again, the pre-assessment is due November 30th, And the guideline that we're giving you is hopefully if you have folks enrolled by the 1st of November, that's 30 days to get that in. And I just want to add that this assessment, once a child has been placed into a classroom, as you're meeting with them and as you're compiling this information, you can be entering it, gathering that information all along the way.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick double check and make sure I was in the year I wanted to be in ELMS. I have unsaved changes. So here, I'll model what you can do when you are when you want to leave and come back later. You can click Save and Close. I'll come back, and yes, I am in the correct 2018-19 school year. So I'm going back into the pre-assessment. I'm also entering their total monthly household income here. So we know that you looked at their income verification during the time they were first applying for ECAP. We put it in the mobility mentoring work also because part of what we're tracking for data for this program is changes in family income during the time they're participating in mobility mentoring. So this, you don't need to ask them to bring in their tax records or anything. You can just talk to them and find out what, from them what their total monthly income is. Okay, and then you'll go through each of the categories here and assign a level based on your conversations with the families. And just to be quick today, I'm just putting everything right in the middle. Obviously, you would put more thought into it and read the definitions more carefully to discern what should be checked for each family. Okay. So I just went right down the middle here, and then I'm clicking Save and Close. Then I'm going to take a quick look here under pre-assessment. The ratings that I've put in have posted back, and it looks like I missed one. It looks like I missed the legal issues one, so I'll go back there in a minute. Looks like everything else is in here. I'm going to reopen the pre-assessment, find that line with the legal issues, and yes, for some reason my click didn't hold there. And I can save and close at the top of the document as well, so that's convenient. And that looks, well, okay, it's refreshing and we're good. Excellent. Okay, so at this point, you can come back near the top of the page and click to print the bridge, either in English or in Spanish. So I'm going to click it in English this time. And you can see that it has marked, just a minute, we're going to see this. I accidentally clicked OK when it said Save File, and I'm going to change it to Open With so we can see this immediately. There. So you can see that the bridge appears, and it has highlighted all of the boxes for the levels that you just chose. So you can see right now on the bridge where this family's ratings have appeared. Carrie, do you want to say a little bit more about how you can use this information here?
Yeah, so this gives you sort of that visual representation if you want to sit down with a family and say, based on what we've figured out in the assessment, here are some areas that you might want to look at making a goal on. And again, it is family driven, so whatever they choose, but we have heard from folks in the field that this is a really nice visual representation when you meet with a family so that they can see where they're at on the bridge.
All right, thank you. So back to the page here. The next step at the beginning of the year is to enter one of the family's, one or more goals for the family into ELMS. And that's, again, right near the top of the mobility mentoring page where this button says plus new goal. Clicking on that, and I get the goal pop up. get it so it's all in scope here. The first step is defining your SMART goal. So Carrie, you want to talk a little bit about what a SMART goal is?
Yeah, so again, from the training, you might remember SMART goals are S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for relevant, and T for time-bound. So what we would want in here is, you know, if you're talking to the family and they say they would like to, at some time, build their own home. You might work backwards from, okay, so that you can see that happening in the next 5 years. Let's back it up. What do you need to do in 3 years? What do you need to do this year? And maybe during those conversations, they decided they want to save money or receive some kind of credit counseling. So that's what your SMART goal would be, is something that's very specific and you can measure it. And you know, beginning credit counseling at a local credit union within the next 6 months. That's obtainable, that's relevant to their larger 5 long-term goals. It has some time around it. You can specifically check back in with them and see if they've done that. So that's the kind of information we want in that line.
Okay. And I've checked new because this is a new goal. We'll put in the target completion date. Let's say that's in March. I'm pretending I'm in September of 2018 right now. So that's about 6 months out. If, you know, if that date needs to change later, there's a place here on the right where you can revise the target completion date. You select a category that this one fits into. So this is actually a financial management goal related to debts. So I'm checking that goal. Even though their long-term goal is about housing, this SMART goal for this year is about debts. And then you break that down into steps. So steps, I'm going to say call the credit union to make an appointment would be a first step. By when? Let's say we're in September now, so let's make this be a month from now. And family strengths and resources that contribute to this, they're already a credit union member here. Barriers. You know, maybe it's something like just an emotional or embarrassment about the debt that they're in. So so I'm just going to write feelings about debt as a current barrier that we're thinking about. And a celebration or a motivation to do this. You know, they may not find the celebration might not be at the very first appointment or even making that call, but I'm just making up something here now that hang a photo of their future house on their fridge. So, you know, just something to mark that we got this step done here. And then when they've completed it, you would come back and put the date in here. If a step turns out to be wrong, not useful, you click the remove link and just rearrange them when you do your next check-in. And you can add as many steps as it takes to get to the goal. You might make 2 or 3 steps the first time you talk. You'll know what's right. Okay, and so then we're putting down who participated in this, and it was both of them. The family support staff person, your name would show up here automatically if you're the one who's entering data here. My name happens to be family support staff right now, so that's why that's showing up. And then you're talking about when's the next time you're checking in with each other. So let's say we're going to check in again in early November, and we've got it set tentatively for 2 p.m. And we're going to do this check-in because it's not a normal family support visit, it's just a check-in, so that one might be by phone. Best time to contact families, they've said 2 o'clock while their younger child's napping is a good time. Okay, so that's all you do for the first time that you make a goal. Did you have anything to add to that at this point, Carrie?
No, I think that looks good. I would just remind folks that when we're first introducing this, to really break down that SMART goal and minimize the steps, because we want them to feel success right away. And so we don't want to have 10 steps they need to do before the next time you follow up with them. We want it to be concise and something that they can get some motivation behind, and there's congratulations around it, and then you can move to the next step.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to close the goal for now. Oh, it's not liking my format here. It might just need a PM. Let's see if it likes that now. Better. Okay, and now you can see that we're back on their main mobility mentoring page, and down here at the bottom of the page, in the section next to debt, it has posted that goal. So then when it's time for you to update or edit that goal, you just click right next to it here. And so now I'm going to pretend it's March. It's the mid-year check-in time. We go in, we talk about the goal, maybe we add another step, maybe we change some steps that are on here. I put in the mid-year check-in date. And the goal's not achieved yet, so I don't need to do any of those. I probably do those during the end of the year. And I type in my progress notes here. And save and close. So the mid-year check-in is pretty simple once you've had the conversation with the parent. If at any point early in the year or later you want to add another goal, you can have more than one goal for the family. So let's say this time it was the dad is starting an let's see, he wants to start an exercise program. He wants to get more fit. So dad will walk for 20 minutes 3 times a week. So some kind of goal to help him do that. And I'm going to say it's a physical fitness goal, the target completion date. Well, he wants to do it all year long, so I'm going to put it all the way to the end of the school year. And his next steps are find walking shoes, okay, or whatever the next step could be, and we save and close it. And now you can see the other goal is here and can be edited and addressed as well. Sometimes parents have different goals from each other. It's okay to put 2 separate goals in, one for each parent. We get towards the end of the year, and it'll be time to update the goals, all the goals again, and also to do the post-assessment. When I open the post-assessment, it's going to look a lot like the pre-assessment. It's almost identical. I'm going to put in the parents' names again, and the date that we started the post-assessment. So let's say we started it in June. And see if anything has changed with their progress, with their education. It didn't. That wasn't one of their goals this year, so I'm putting no current education goals. And checking in on their monthly income again. So we'll say it's gone up a little bit since the last time we talked. And then again, based on your conversations, you'll go through and rate everything again here. So I'm going to go through and mark them all up again. I'm going to waver a little bit here and then go back to my center line just for speed for you. And then I want to show you something that happens when I come to save and close here. So for the one goal that decreased over the year, it's going to ask me to enter a reason. So for conflict resolution, I originally had it at level 3, and now I have it at level 2. And why we're collecting reasons on this is we see a lot of growth in families over the year, but there also is some decreasings of levels as well, and they're very, very valid. but we want to track when that happens so that when we're reporting out the data in a statewide way, we can make sense out of it, and we can show the benefits of the mobility mentoring program with our data. So the reason for changing this one was, you know, it's about conflict resolution, and I, the parent, just didn't want to tell you everything the first time I met you. So I'm just going to say parent became more comfortable with sharing personal information. And it's just a little harder in our family than she wanted to tell us the first time. That makes a lot of sense. So we're saving that, and once you've got the reason in there, then you can save and close the document as a whole. There might be other reasons where there might be a decrease. There could be a job loss, an injury, many valid reasons. There could be a decreased rating here. Now that that's done, you can see that another column has populated here on the main mobility mentoring page here called growth. So it will show all increases and decreases in levels for the year. And you know, generally we see more increases than this speedy version I just did for you here. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Child tab now to show you one other thing that can happen early in the year. I'm looking up all my children, and I see I have a sibling, or maybe even a twin for this child whose name was first child. I have second child. I'm going to go into their child family updates, click on their mobility mentoring tab. Now, I've already met with this family, or I'm already scheduled to meet with this family. We only need one mobility mentoring set up per family, so it doesn't need to be per child. So what I'm going to do here with this second sibling is click on the checkbox where it says data for this family is entered in another ECAP child's record. And I'm going to put in the first child's ELMS ID number and save it. And now whenever you come into this child's record, mobility mentoring, if I click here on the blue highlighted link to the other child, it will open up that child's mobility mentoring page. So one per family. There's a little bit of risk here because before you have clicked that box, you can see the link to the pre-assessment. In a few cases, people have started the pre-assessment for the second child before they click the checkbox that it is a second child in the same family. ELMS doesn't know quite how to deal with that, and if you accidentally do that, you'll need to contact us to get the data fixed in the record here. So best practice is, if you know there's a second child, to check the box, connect them to the other sibling right away. Okay, anything to add about data entry, Carrie, before I go into reports?
No, I don't think so. I think that covered it.
Okay, so I'm going to switch out now, and I'm going to come back into ELMS as a family support manager. So in this role, I can see all of the sites, all of the classes, and look at reports for all children in my entire agency, ECAP contractor agency. So I'm back logged in as a family support manager. I'm going to do just a little change to this training environment down here to get us back to today. You see I have the same tabs. I can look in those for the date, look at the data entry. But I'm going to click here on the Reports tab, scroll down to where it says Family Assessment and Goals Count. So this is a high-level monitoring report, just to see if we have all our information in here. I'm going to pull it up for the site we were just working in. And its name is Pretend Contractor, so you'll know that no data we're seeing here is real. And it was at Woodstock Elementary. Okay, and here you can see that something didn't go well in what I just did. Do you figure it out, Will? Did I put it in 2017-18? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna step back. It might have been that I selected the wrong year here. No, there's something that changed in the last 2 days that's not allowing me to see the report information correctly. So I'm going to go back in and tell you what we should be seeing. We know this works because we looked yesterday. We know it normally works, so I'm not sure what's the change right this minute here. So we have 2 children enrolled in the Woodstock Elementary site. What you should see here is that there should be 2 pre-assessments completed, one for the original child and one for the sibling. I didn't actually type in I did do the mid-year check-in, so there should be 2 for mid-year check-in, there should be 2 for the post-assessment, and there should be 2 for the children with at least 1 goal here. So this can give you the high-level monitoring picture. You can also look at it. I'm going to go back to 2017-18 right now, and again, this is all fake sites that you're going to be seeing. If you have the view of your entire contractor, you're the family support manager, and you choose select data by site, but you don't enter a site down in the bottom half, and you click Run Report, then you can view all the information for all your sites here. And you can see that, let's say it is, we're at Down Elementary, there's 20 children enrolled, 20 pre-assessments were completed, 18 mid-year check-ins were completed. It's the time of year that we haven't gotten to the post-assessments yet. So you can quick look through here and see what's done and what still needs to be done. One of the tricky things to know is that a pre-assessment and a post-assessment won't show here as complete unless every single category has a rating level. So if you get, 90% of them checked, it's not going to show as complete yet on this report, even though you're pretty close to complete.
And Joyce, I just want to add that that was a question that came up quite a bit. Folks in the pilot would say, well, I'm almost done. I just have 1 or 2 questions. So when I look at this report, it looks like I only have 40% of them done, but I'm really close. So just keep in mind this is a very high-level view, and until you actually click Done and they're all completed, it won't report out as complete.
Yeah, and I get that there's a way that doesn't feel quite fair because you've put in a lot of work already, but it's just a report on completions. Okay, let's look at the Family Goals by Child report here. I'm going to choose 2017-18 because there's a lot of pretend children entered in there. And I'm going to run it by contractor at this point, but you could run it just by class. And you can either look at the children who are enrolled as of today or the cumulative, every child who's been enrolled at any time this school year. So selecting that, again, it's going to be pretend children, and it's going to be pretend goals, everything here. So let's see. We have the child name, the goal, their target completion date. If a goal is completed, it's got, and that's entered in ELMS, it's got the goal achieved date. And then it also has the goal category that you selected marked over here. So there's several ways you can use this report. You can use it to monitor that everyone has a goal. You can use it to monitor that all the goals are SMART goals. So you go down here, keep myself healthy, and go, okay, we might want to break that down into what do they mean by keep yourself healthy and what are they actually going to do in a period of time about it. Same with buy a house. There might be some steps to get there. But, you know, this one's pretty concrete here, to finish paying off 2 debts before January to help them get a home loan, and then, you know, the steps within that SMART goal could get them there. Okay, I want to let you know that every column sorts. So you can sort by child ID, you can sort by the children's names, by just clicking these arrows at the top of the column and get them all alphabetical. You can sort by their, whoops, didn't mean to pop out of there. You can sort by their target completion dates.
And I would just urge everyone to really play around with that. That was something in the pilot that folks felt was very, very helpful, to be able to search by target completion date so that they can see, oh, in the month of December, I need to check in with this family, these 3 families, because this is where we had originally set our target date for.
Great, thank you. You can also sort by any of these goal categories here if you just want to cluster all the housing ones and see what people are interested in, or all the transportation ones and see what people are interested in. These goal categories can be really useful information for you. See, look down this housing column, and if I opened all 14 pages that are in here right now, you would see that there's a lot of families selecting that as a goal. I'm going to double click. I clicked once and the blank ones came up. If I click the second time to sort, all the housing goals come up to the top here. So I can quickly see that that's a major goal that our families are selecting here. And so that might mean that as an agency, we want to look at enhancing our resources, enhancing our connections with community partners related to that housing issue. And then a final way that you can use this is to, for your own outcomes reporting, to be able to show the goals that families in your program completed during a year. I want to make sure everybody knows that you can export this report as well. In the stage it's in right now, it's on 14 pages, so a lot of children here. If I click this icon at the top, I can export it either to a PDF format or to an Excel format and have it all in one location for myself. And you can also print it from either of those, either the PDF or the Excel. Okay, while we were looking at this report, we'll fix the other one for us. And I'm going to go back to the family assessment goal count for 2018-19, which is the year we did those 2 children. I'm going to display by site for that Woodstock site that we were in. Run the report, and this is going to be magic. It's still not working online. Okay, that one wasn't magic, but you got to see us open a report again. Okay, I'm going to skip. I promise this will be working in real ELMS. Remember, this is a training version of ELMS that we're looking at here. Okay, the Family Support Monitoring by Child is the final report I want to show you today. I'm going to open it at the contractor level, but you could open it at the site or class level. This report only shows children who are currently enrolled. So there's no, you don't select the school year because it's only the children who are enrolled on the day that you're in ELMS looking for them. So I'm going to pick this up, and again we're seeing fake child names, fake family support names, but I can quickly see for all the children on my list which children have completed assessments, goals, mid-year check-ins, and post-assessments. And we're still, we're still in early May, so the post-assessments are not complete, but for most children, all the rest of it is complete. And so I think there's a good chance that these first two children have already exited the program and we didn't continue with them. Okay, but that's the way to break down that first report, that's the very high level, to bring it to the child level and go, which child's assessment are we still working on completing, which child's family may still want to have a goal. Again, you can sort every column using the arrows at the top. You can make it show you it class by class here. You can decide that you want to see all of one family support staff. What is Amy doing with her families right now? You can see. You could sort by the child's start dates to see who should have a completion this year, that sort of thing. Okay, that's the final report that I'm showing today. Carrie, do you have anything to add or anything to say in closing?
I would just say that this report in particular has been really useful to most of the pilot participants in being able to sort of track where they're at, where they still need to go back, and maybe what's showing on the screen right now is that at West Elementary this child didn't have a pre-assessment, so was that because they dropped? Just making sure that something didn't get missed during the year. So this one particular report, I know the folks in the field have really, really valued this report.
Yeah, and Carrie, I said something that led us astray here earlier, but I want to go back to that. This report really does only show children who are enrolled today. Mm-hmm. So the data in this report will all go away. This will be a blank report for 2017-18 as soon as all of your children have exited. It's only useful while the children are enrolled. So the third child on this list has been enrolled since September, and there's some reason why the mobility mentoring process hasn't happened with that family. So people in the program would probably know what the reason is.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. And I think just in closing, maybe Joyce, you could tell folks if they have an issue that we just want them to email ELMS. Is that correct?
Sure. If they have an issue with the data entry in ELMS, then email us at ELMS, ELMS, at del.wa.gov. We are in July going to become the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, so the email will change, but I understand that this one will still be in effect for many months after that. So ELMS at del.wa.gov. And then if you have a question about the mobility mentoring project and how you should be doing the work of mobility mentoring, how would they reach you, Carrie?
Then, yes. So then you're going to reach me at my email address. That is my name, kerry.beymer at del.wa.gov. And same applies. We will all be getting new email addresses, but until there will be some lag time between that happening.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for your time today. Please do let us know your questions. I hope the system all works well for you, the ELMS system. I know that mobility mentoring works well for families, and thank you for your work and dedication.
Thank you.